Progress indeed. Morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, our monthly Real Estate Live. If you're in Coastal, you're at the back chewing pancakes. I can hear you guys. It's not the bacon. Thanks for showing up. We have a nice crowd over here, and looking forward to hear more about some updates and exciting things in the real world of real estate. Before that, let me hear it from Ed. He's gonna unmute himself and he's gonna share some, some magic words.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's see. So this quote is: "Average is a choice. Greatness is a choice. There is no magic, only decisions." That's from Trevor Moawad.
Yeah, and it means what to you, Ed, to kind of inspire us while we're chewing the bacon and the pancakes over here in Coastal?
Well, to me, it means, the choice is up to you. You can show up, you can punch the clock, right? You can show up to work and just kind of get through the day, or you can wake up with a mindset of like charging the day and exceed all expectations and go for greatness. Why not? I love what Gary says, aim high. Why not try for greatness? Why settle for mediocrity?
Yeah, well said. And it's all a matter of choice, right? We always have a choice. Like, so what side do you want to be on, pretty much? How far do you want to push?
Love it.
So let's just jump right into it. We have Laura Peterson with RERM, our risk management company, doing a phenomenal job in all aspects. And Laura, how have you been?
I've been great. How are you? Hi, everyone. Wish I was there.
Yeah, you're missing out the pancake find for sure. Yeah. Over in Coastal. So what do you have for us, Laura?
Okay. Kim, do you have my slides? And can I, do you want to present them? Okay, great. Thanks so much. So thank you everyone for having me with you this morning. You are my favorite office. I will tell you, Keller Williams Coastal is like my second home. So I wish I could be there today, but I'm up here in Sacramento working. So I didn't want to technically go over all the benefits of the program because I know your office especially has seen that so many times. You guys could probably present for me. Hi, Drake. Today I want to talk about some hot topics. These are the things that we are seeing in the real estate industry over the last 6 months to a year. These are cases that we're seeing that are coming into the mediators here and also the things that are going out to the attorneys. So let's jump right into it. These are going to be the hot topics we're talking about today. We're going to talk about disclosure issues, problems with HOAs, agents not finalizing the documents, your opinions on deposit disputes, and agents giving legal advice. So let's jump into section 1. All right, so these are the areas that we are seeing that are like kind of warning signs. As everyone knows, the biggest reason for litigation problems after the close of escrow is non-disclosure. And I want to get a neon sign that says disclose, disclose, and disclose again, because every case that comes up after the close of escrow, that is the #1 thing, non-disclosure. So when we're mediating cases, we get all of the transactional documents, we get the TDS, and we get the SPQ. And we're noticing a pattern of constant no's. No, 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 no. Well, if someone has lived in a house for more than 6 months, come on, you've had some repairs. You've had some things happen. So if your seller is filling out that TDS and SPQ and you look at it and you see constant no's, you need to have a conversation with your seller. Tell your seller, look, we can sell a house in any condition. We just need to make sure that we disclose everything to that buyer about the property, because you know that neighbor is going to come over to the buyer right after the close of escrow and say, hey, well, did they tell you about this? Did they tell you about this plumbing problem they had a year ago? So please make sure you are going over these with your clients. And if your clients have legal questions in regards to the TDS and SPQ, let's get them an attorney consultation. You can be on the call as well, and the attorney can give them the legal advice that's going to have the least impact on their transaction. The other area, oh, no, sorry, thing. Okay, there we go. Not disclosing previous inspection reports. Let's say you had a buyer and seller, buyer number one fell out of escrow, and you know your seller is entitled to copies of those reports. Make sure you are giving those reports to buyer number two's agent, because the last thing you want is for them to catch wind of that report after the close of escrow and come back to you and say, you didn't disclose this inspection to me. Very important. Neighborhood problems. We're dealing with some cases right now with troublesome neighbors and problems going on in the neighborhoods that were not disclosed to the buyers. It's really important that these buyers know everything about the neighborhood that has been confirmed. Solar financing versus solar provider. Sellers say, hey, I want the buyer to take over the solar. Great. Well, sometimes the financing is not done with a loan, a lien on the property. Make sure if you're representing a seller, you ask them, okay, who is doing the financing and who is doing the providing, because they can be two different companies. And make sure if you're representing a buyer, you're also asking the listing agent, who is providing the financing, who is providing the service. Because we've had multiple cases after the close of escrow where sellers are coming back to us saying, hey, the buyer was supposed to assume all the responsibility, but all they did was assume the service contract. Also, repairs done from years ago not being disclosed. If somebody's lived in a house for 10 years, you know, there's been repairs. Every house has had repairs. Or things like insurance claims on those houses. Make sure you're asking your sellers those questions, because if it comes back up, it's going to take away the time and productivity of your seller and moving on from that property. And also not addressing items mentioned in the inspection reports. Buyers and sellers love to blame their agents. They want to say, well, the agent didn't say anything to me, or the agent told me not to worry about it. And you know my term, verbal schmerble. Make sure if you are seeing, like, they recommend an electrician, they recommend a plumber, they recommend an additional termite inspection, just send your client an email that says, hey, in the inspection report, these things were brought up. Did you want to have an electrician come out to the property? Did you want to have a plumber come out to the property? Just send it in an email and then upload that to your documents. Because if that buyer comes back after you, after the close of escrow, and says, well, my agent didn't say anything to me, we can say, wait, here's a copy of the document that the agent sent to you. Very important information for our attorneys to have to defend you in these cases after the close of escrow. So are there any questions so far? I'm not seeing anything in the chat yet. Okay.
Question over here, yes.
Where does it say that the sellers are entitled to the buyer's report? Since they paid for it, same thing with appraisals, like sometimes they don't want to release that.
Okay, so I've had that question before. Great question. One of the things that the attorneys are advising the agents is, hey, when you're signing those cancellation instructions, say, okay, you know, basically the buyer's getting back their deposit. Say at that point in time, in the RPA, it states clearly that the seller is entitled to free copies of the reports. I will find that section in the RPA and I will highlight it and send it over to you through the office. So that way you have that verbiage to put in there that the attorneys are requesting you put to get copies of those reports.
Drake has a question on the chat.
Is there any sort of time frame on previous repairs from past years? No. It's really not. I know you're talking like a statute of limitations. If your seller had something done 10 years ago, let's say it was an insurance claim because they had flooding in the property, it's really important that the buyer be disclosed that, because let's say they go in and start doing some remodeling and they weren't disclosed about this flooding problem from 10 years ago. They start ripping stuff up and they're seeing, hey, wait, this wasn't fixed correctly, or there's water lines here. Why are there water lines here? That's non-disclosure. Maybe we can get some money from the seller for non-disclosure for our upgrades that we're putting on our house. So that is why I always recommend going back for the entire time that you've owned the property.
Right.
Great question. Okay, Kim, I think we can go to next slide. Okay, HOA problems. HOA, because of the pandemic, HOAs were not having regular meetings. They were basically assessments and things like that were being tabled because they weren't having regular meetings. So now here we are in 2022, 2 years later, and there's these minutes from 2019, 2020, talking about future assessments on the properties. And the buyer, of course, is whipping through those HOA documents, sign here, sign here, sign there, and not thoroughly reading those minutes. I have 2 cases right now in a complex in Long Beach where the buyers are claiming non-disclosure of future assessments. The assessments are over $20,000. But the sellers came back and showed documentation that the buyer did sign off on the minutes showing the potential of that assessment. And so basically the buyers had to drop the case and they assumed those assessments. I have some agents that recommend that their clients call the HOAs to ask them, hey, are there any upcoming potential assessments that we could be responsible for? You cannot make that call for your client. Your client has to make that call directly to the HOA. You can be on the phone with them. That's a great idea, but you cannot provide that information because if you provide the wrong information, you can be held liable. Sellers not remembering if they received notices about future assessments. Not reading mail is not an excuse. If you are mailed something, it is your responsibility as an owner of a property to open that piece of mail and understand it. So that's another area that we're talking about with our sellers is, hey, do you want to call your HOA and find out, are there any potential assessments that are coming up that the buyer could be responsible for? So that way the buyer is made fully aware by the seller and by the HOA of those assessments. Parking spots, that's another big issue because there's complexes that have assigned parking. Some of the assigned parking is smaller. It has like the gas lines and the electrical components that take up half the spot. Your buyer has an SUV. The seller had a Mini Cooper, okay? Obviously, that parking spot is not going to work for that buyer. So make sure if you're representing a seller, you find out confirmed exactly where the parking spots are, have them show you, and have them show you on the written documentation where they are assigned those parking spots, as well as for your buyers, make sure you're getting that information and the buyer is being shown those spots. The other issue that's coming up, which I've never seen before, is buyers buying in a 55-year and older community and taking possession of the property. We're dealing with a case like that right now. We don't know why this is happening, but it is. Buyers are buying them not as investment properties, but to basically live there. If it is a 55 and older community, normally that information is put right at the front, but for some reason things are falling through the cracks, and this is another area that we're seeing and is causing problems after the close of escrow. Okay, are there any questions in regards to this?
Nothing yet.
Okay, all right, let's move on. Okay, agents not dotting their I's and crossing their T's. I have agents, yes, things in writing are good, but you definitely need to formalize your real estate documents between the parties. Example, listing it, buyers have requested a credit towards closing, okay? Listing agent says, yeah, in a text message or an email, yeah, seller's agreeable to it, but we never get the formalized documents executed. All we have is an email from the listing agent. And we're getting now to the close of escrow, and the seller says, no, I don't want to give them that $10,000 credit. I'm not doing it. Causes problems in the transactions. So if you have a discussion with another agent over a property, make sure as soon as possible you are getting those documents signed and executed and uploaded. Also, all updated reports are signed off by the parties, okay? Don't think that you have duplicate copies coming. I'm dealing with a case right now involving a chimney that an updated report came to the buyer's agent that stated, this is a supplemental report. There is a repair that is needed on the chimney because if it's not fixed, it can cause flooding when it rains. It rained. It caused $25,000 worth of damage to the interior of the property. The buyer called the chimney inspector. The chimney inspector said, hey, I sent your agent a supplemental report. Didn't you get a copy of it? No, I didn't. I only got the original. So make sure, even if it's duplicate work, sometimes that's okay. They're given the warnings about what's going on with the property. Also, download your text messages and emails to your transaction file. This is coming from our attorneys. The DRE can come in after so many years and say, we want to find out about this property. We want to see your communications and things like that. People get new iPhones and cell phones every couple of years, and they can lose that information. There are services out there that actually will take your text messages and download them into a folder that you can upload into your KW command documents. I can send the links over. This is for an iPhone and also for a Samsung product. Really important because those text messages between your client, between you and the other agent, between the inspectors, that is what is going to help the attorney get you out of that audit or out of that lawsuit. Also, please remember to be careful who you refer your clients to. Make sure they're licensed, bonded, and insured. Make sure they have the appropriate licensing. Remember, there is no government agency overseeing home inspectors, and always give multiple referrals, not just one. And also just remember your clients are trusting you to guide them every step of the way. That is why you are their real estate professional. Okay, any questions in regards to this?
Question?
No.
Yes.
For downloading text messages, they'll ask for after so many years, is what she said. How many years is that for text messages?
How many years? Yeah.
Oh, well, with the DRE, they can come in like 3 years from now. So that is why we always want to have your messages and emails uploaded to your transaction file. Because if you lose that information and you needed that information, I remember I had an email, I had a text message. It's really important because that is what is going to help the attorney. So that information just stays with the transaction file in case you get audited or in case a lawsuit comes years down the line.
That's why I also think that if like I rather communicate via text message, it's faster, right? But that's why I think it's important also to do like a follow-up email just to recap or summarize today's meeting or conversation or whatever, because it's easier to track that and print that out versus text messages all over the place, you know? So good point. Other questions, comments, anybody? Okay.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, opinions on deposit disputes. I know agents love their clients, they do. And when we mediate deposit disputes, this is for when the deal is dead. There's not a heartbeat left in it. It's just fighting over the deposit. Our team of mediators are there to help the buyers and sellers resolve that dispute. It's at no additional costs or fees to you, to your clients. We're only there to work that out between the buyer and seller. But please do not promise your client they are going to get their deposit, or the seller, you're entitled to that deposit. You're going to get that deposit. No one can make that determination except for a judge or an arbitrator, okay? I've seen cases go into small claims court where the buyer removed all of their contingencies and the seller went into small claims court to get the $10,000 deposit and they lost, okay? There is never a for sure area in deposit disputes. So let them know if they have questions about deposit disputes, or about their deposit. They can, before the close of escrow, during escrow, they can talk with the attorney. They can find out, okay, if I remove my contingency here, can I get my deposit back? We're happy to provide those services, but just please don't make those promises to your clients. Also, with removing the contingencies, please make sure, your clients understand when they come in. I know right now offers are coming in non-contingent, no loan, no appraisal, no inspection. They just want this property. I understand that, but make sure you're having a serious conversation with them about, okay, this could be putting your deposit into jeopardy. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. And then also missing deadlines for your sellers. Sellers are saying, hey, look, I want that contingency removal issued on the exact date that it can be issued. I have some agents that are relying on their TCs to do that for them. Okay, that's great that you have a TC, but that is your responsibility. Make sure you're setting alarms, putting reminders on your calendar to make sure that that is being done. And then also let the mediators handle the matter between the buyers and the sellers. We know you love your clients, we get it, but the mediators are there as neutral third parties to help them resolve these disputes. And sometimes there can be too many cooks in the kitchen. We'll always update you, we'll always let you know what's going on, but it's just sometimes we don't need your input in these situations. So, questions in this area?
They're thinking about it.
Okay.
You're thinking about not meddling.
Let me do my job. You go out and find some more real estate. I'll take care of the problems after. Okay, agents giving legal advice to their clients. This is an actual case. Agents come to me all the time and say, well, I want to know this information for myself. Well, when you tell me that, okay, I get it. But especially when it comes to evictions, which it can be different from one street to another, the agents get this information. And in this case, the agent repeated the wrong information to their client. The client couldn't get the tenant evicted, and it took them a year to finally get the tenant out of the property. And so the buyer had to hire an attorney who has now turned around and is suing the agent. And they're also coming after them through the DRE and the California State Bar Association, claiming the agent practiced law without a license. So let your clients hear the direct information from our panel of attorneys that answer their transactional non-dispute legal questions before, during, and after the close of escrow. This is at no additional cost or fees to your clients. They get one consult per subject matter. Not everyone in the industry has this service, so this is a great incentive for your client to work with you. This is a great incentive when you're meeting with them at a buyer meeting or a seller's meeting to say, listen, I need to engage you in a representation agreement so you get access to the legal services. The only, if you have a listing agreement that basically they say, okay, well, I got to get a legal question answered before I can sign the listing agreement, have them sign an agency disclosure. That's all that's needed. This is a great way to cement the relationship with you so they're not going out and hiring someone else. Also, I like buyer broker agreements. I have agents that come to me all the time and say, well, I've been working with this buyer, but they left and they took off and they did the deal with the listing agent. I'm like, well, where's your agreement? Well, we don't have one. Okay, that's why you need to cement these relationships by engaging them in the representation agreements. Okay, questions?
Okay.
No. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for having me with you today. I really appreciate it. Like I said, love your office. It feels like home every time I'm down there. I'm going to hang out. If anybody has questions, then they want to type them in the chat. You're welcome to, or you can always call me here at the office. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Good stuff. Questions before she's going to step aside? Okay, if you think of anything, let us know. When are you in the area next, Laura, to visit us or South Bay?
Yes, I will be coming down there probably sometime in the next 2 months.
2 months, great. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Good stuff, Laura. Thank you so much as always.
Thank you.
Simon, anything to add? I think you have a slide as well, right?
Well, I think Laura pretty much answered a lot of the questions that I'm always constantly in my head. You know, just be diligent, being proactive, and ultimately making sure that, you know, you reach out to the broker and, you know, you have the resources and the support. You know, as Laura mentioned, we're here to support you and your clients. Make sure that you're not involved in any legal conversations, because that can ultimately put us in a bind. And now we're going to have to scramble backwards to try to resolve that. You know, this is why you have the resource, the broker, to delegate and ultimately be in the point of contact with the attorneys to make sure that we're all on the same page. So that way there's no liability or any concern. So that's all I really have to say, Meny. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Simon. Now, is this, Kim, is this Simon's slide or?
No.
That's mine.
It's yours.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And Simon, by the way, you missed amazing breakfast over here in Coastal, pancakes and bacon.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know she said something about pancakes, but she didn't personally invite me, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go or not.
Oh, it's a competition. Okay.
It is a competition.
All right. All right, Kim, take it away. What do you have?
Okay. So this is just going to be a very quick social media reminder. Talking about stories on your social media. And some of you may use stories and some of you may not use it very often, but here's just a list of some tips and some benefits of why it might be a good idea in this market to utilize the stories. So first off, the stories, if you don't know, they sit at the top of your feed. So they're not buried down in your feed. People don't have to scroll down to see what you posted. It's right there at the top. And sometimes, especially when you have a hot listing, you may not want it in the feed. You know, people might not ever get to see that, but in the story, it's going to be right there on top. You also get to see the names of the people that comment on your story. So that's great because you can see who that is and message them directly or contact them after that. And then the best part about stories is that they're informal, they're relaxed. They're not like a beautiful post may be. They don't have to be perfect. So if you have some pictures that you take on your phone, you can send it right to your feed and that'll do the trick. And then the next slide, Meny, it just shows you some of the examples of the story templates that we have in Command. So you may not think about that utilizing Command for this, but there's some really nice seasonal story templates and then also templates for your listings. So check it out.
Yeah, good stuff. Anybody here is using Command for the stories, Instagram, social media? Not yet. Well, you should. You do?
Not yet.
Yeah, yeah. I think they have what, about over 1,000 right now pieces?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So you can plan ahead the year if you want to, and then design as you wish. In addition, a lot of good stuff. And I think, as in the offices, agent services, right? Haley over here too, right? You guys meeting with agents and going over those setups, right? So if you want to know more, just, over here in Coastal, reach out to Haley. So see more how to utilize those pieces for you to automation or regular basis. Training schedule, offices combined. We have some, good stuff happening every week pretty much. But I think, yes, this has been recorded, Alexandra. And we have, let me just see like the next few days. This is on Thursday. Ed, do you want to talk about that for a second?
Hey everybody, yeah, hey, Ed Morrell over here at KW South Bay. So on Thursdays, usually at 3 o'clock, I teach a class working on wealth. Not really a class, it's a group that we run working on wealth. So working on wealth is all about wealth building. It's not about how to make more money as an agent. It's about how to accumulate wealth over time. It includes topics like investing, of course, but also, how to organize how to structure your legal entity so that you can save money on taxes, tax saving strategies in general, personal finance, all the kind of stuff to accumulate wealth. On Thursdays, we are adjusting the time to account for our special guests, I should say. Erica Hill and Daryl Fiedler are both going to be our guest speakers on Thursday. It's going to be a phenomenal event. I talked to Erica last week about just how to take the class to the next level and some things, because I know she's been teaching this at length up in Idaho, and having great success. She's very passionate and loves teaching about wealth building and finance. And luckily enough, she's going to be here in town, and she's going to help lead the class and lead it on Thursday at 1 o'clock. I hope you guys can make it. We're going to do it hybrid, so you can attend via Zoom. But if you can make it to KW South Bay here in Torrance, I highly recommend being here in person, because it should be a phenomenal event and a chance to meet two awesome rock stars talking all about money.
Yeah, and I think that we have a lot of sessions, seminars, what have you coming up. Anybody here attended the Jeff Glover event last Friday? Yeah, a few. I know I saw a lot of people from South Bay and LA Harbor as well. So you're going to see at least once, even twice a month, like substantial sessions or what have you, not just about real estate, but mostly around that, right? So this is definitely something significant. Erica is one of the regional owners who brought KW to Southern California, right? One of the first ones. So a lot to learn and to be inspired, and also follow the footsteps of, in whatever shape and form that you choose to. So that's Thursday, 1 p.m.
Hey, Meny, I'll add really quickly too. So this is going to be Thursday at 1 p.m. At 2 o'clock, you are doing an awesome mastermind that's going to be all about profitability and agent financials, which you may be mentioning here in a second. So we're going to have the hybrid class here at 1 o'clock, and then we're going to live stream and have a group watch party for that mastermind here at KW South Bay. That part is at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, the pressure is on, because you have only 60 minutes to perform, that's the easy. Try to stop Erica from sharing 60 minutes after that, right? But it's going to be back to back. We're going to host in the South Bay office too. I'm not sure where I'm going to be physically. I might be here, but Jen is going to be in the South Bay. Michelle, if you attended the LC retreat we had earlier this year, she was one of the guest speakers at the desert, and she is a certified profit first accountant. So she has a very specific way of how to go about saving your money, etc. So she's going to show a lot of that insight. But it's pretty much to break down the agent financials, right? We are business owners. Do you really run your business as a business? Do you really know how to run profit and loss, right, on a monthly basis? Do you have a budget? Do you live by revenue, right? Do you put all the charges on the credit card versus budgeting, etc. So it's kind of the fun stuff. Holly?
Can I give a personal testimonial to that
Please.
really quick?
Yeah.
So profit first is something that can seem very daunting. And if you feel like there is a wonderful children's book called Money Buddies that really opened my eyes when it came to that. But long story short, I just wanted to share with you that when you run this model, it makes things so much more tangible when your income is in flux, right? So when you get money here and there and it's not as predictable as it needs to be, profit first is a solution to this, to make sure that your bills are still getting paid, you're still making your investments, and you're still able to enjoy your life. So it's something that we run. And so if you guys have any questions, make sure you go to this class.
Yeah. So that's again, both Thursday, both 1 p.m. and then 2 p.m. back to back, talking about how to make money and then how to make sure the money is working for you and you're gonna manage it properly. So that's that. And oh yeah, our favorite. Are you bold? Wait, what is that? Is that supposed to be like a video or something like that, Kim? No, just like,
It just wiggles on the screen.
it's wiggles.
Yeah.
It's a wiggly image. Okay, that's fine. So shout out to all those who, I'm not sure if you have everybody, but those who sign up for the full board experience so far from our various offices, launching May 31st, right? So shout out to everybody. You know, some of you, I see you guys over here, and you saw over here in the Long Beach office right now. You all have our bold LA shirts with the little badge over here, right? Are we gonna get those out there, Kim?
Yeah.
In the
Yep.
day off?
We have them for all the offices.
Got it, right.
If you still need to register for first step, remember it's free, or a full step, you can actually scan these little badges of people that are wearing the badges.
Yeah, so take your phone right now and scan the first step, which you should all be there. And even if you don't plan to sign up for the entire session, we would love for you to come and support us, support the agents, spend a day with us. And Meny Atias is an awesome business coach. The office is going to be at limited staff capacity. I know that LA Harbor, Mary, you can confirm, I think on the call, is going to be closed that day.
Correct. Yes,
Correct.
we are closing. Yes.
And it's done in Pedro, and she's going to have almost all the office attending that session. And we want to follow up. No competition, team leaders, no pressure at all. I think that South Bay is going to be there as well, the entire staff and the office in that session. So we'd love for you guys to support us and be there to inspire others. And again, it's the first as of 3 years now, I think. So it's been a minute for the Bold Live. So it's going to be great. Okay. And also the first day we're going to have a sponsored lunch. So join us for coffee in the morning and lunch, and going to get you out of there by 3 o'clock or so. That's the first day. Shout outs, TLs, feel free to jump on and give shout outs to your teams, starting with the South Bay. South Bay, want to say something? Simon, Ed?
Simon, you want to go? Well, I'll jump in. We had this was so cool when people, I guess this office had done this 3-4 years ago, where they had this big kind of carnival atmosphere and invited special needs adults and children to this event. And when they first told me about it, I was like, man, that's an ambitious undertaking. I don't know how this is going to go, but I just kind of rolled with it. And I will tell you, it was amazing. It was so cool. I'd done a lot of red days where we helped build things and stuff like that, but this is the first time that I'd done something that was very interactive with a community, and it gave us a chance to shine. It was just such a fun, rewarding event. And these special needs people who came were just so excited to take part in. We had t-shirt designing, balloon toss, all bubble blowing. We had all sorts of cool stations set up for them to take part in all these different kind of events, kind of things, dancing and music playing. It was a lot of fun, great time we had. And I felt like we really made a direct impact with a whole group of people that was really, really fun to be a part of.
And I think you guys had about 200 people.
Something, I know we had 100 families that were registered to go. I believe it was that said they were going, but I think we may have even had more than that. There was a lot of people there. We actually had so many people, we spilled that. We had a designated spot in the park, and we couldn't hold them all. We had to go leak into the other area stuff. So it was really neat.
There's a picture that you can see the entire park when they all packed on it. It was just incredible. So it was the South Bay and the Palos Verdes office combined.
Yeah,
big production.
Forgive me, Palos Verdes was it was a joint venture between us and Palos Verdes, and it was neat to also mingle with their office, and something our agents didn't get a chance to do very often. So that was really cool as well.
Awesome, thank you, at South Bay. Coastal.
Yeah. So our red day was very successful. There was dancing and there was music too. right? But yeah, thank you guys so much. We went to the beach, cleaned up down on Ocean, and it's one of those things to where you look out at this beautiful, pristine beach and you go, what trash is there to pick up? And then, excuse me, really, when you get down into the nitty gritty of it, we had bags and bags and bags of trash. So thank you guys so much for cleaning up our environment that way. I know I had an impact when I was little of all of these videos that he would have of these little animals eating the trash accidentally, or the marine life and how it's affecting them. And so every little piece that we picked up, I thought, hopefully this is saving our wildlife here in our area. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, we had great time. Thank you, of course, to Elaine, who helped put this stuff together. We had a wonderful Greek food truck afterwards. The food was awesome, right? It was super, super good. And yeah, it was great. We had a wonderful time together. We got to commune and, you know, spent several hours on the beach. I only got sunburned a little bit, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, we had about, I mean, almost 40 people plus there. Yeah,
That's
plus people there of our agents, and then some loved ones and family members. Thank you guys for bringing those people as well. So
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
excited.
you for that, for sure.
Yeah, it felt good to get a little vitamin D.
Yeah, good job, Coastal. That was a great day. And Mary, LA Harbor.
Hi, thank you. We did our annual food drive for 3 of our local charities, not only for our human charities, but we also did for our furry friends as well. And actually, ironically, we're actually doing the pickup today. So we're going to have quite a bit of people coming into our office. But I mean, the team step it up, our clients, our family, our friends. That picture of our conference room there, that's just a tip of the iceberg. But there's like nowhere to walk yesterday as we're basically just, you know, sorting it through and organizing it for pickup today. But I mean, it's always so overwhelming year after year, and our charity organization lean on us very heavily. We're very, very excited knowing that families that has kids in school this summer that's going to be out of school, they won't be able to do school lunches, but at least they'll know that they can go to the pantry and pick up their meals, or, you know, and support their family as well. So we're very excited about that. Pedro Pet Pals is our furry friends. I mean, the amount of mommies and daddies for fur babies were very overwhelming as well. So I mean, we have a ton of things coming in, and we can't wait for them to pick it up. So, and thank you for you know, my team. Definitely, we couldn't pull this off without all of you, and quite frankly, we're just very grateful. So.
Thanks, Mary. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing amount of food, and just people, just even agents, stopped by and just unpacked like loads of bags from their trunks. It was impressive. So thank you, of course, the agents for taking the time, attending, giving back, right? You know, taking like a half day from your busy schedule to do something, you know, for one another in the communities. And thank you to the staff, all the staff of our offices, for really being on top of their game and planning like weeks or some of them even months ahead just to make sure this is happening. And I know that last year we had somewhat of a raid day, still kind of like, you know, 50-50. So that was, it felt like it was just all in, not, you know, without the COVID cloud, etc. At least to most. So it was kind of nice to be out there. And I was tracked by Penny McCann. She was tracking my mileage, right? And yes, I was hitting 5 cities that day, just to be with everybody and support you. Sorry that I couldn't be here on time for the trash pickup, but I made trash by having lunch, and, you know, so clean it up afterwards. But it was great just to really spend time with everybody. So really, thank you. Looking forward for next year to do it. And again, we don't have to wait for raid day or official day to do something like that. You guys are always welcome to let us know if there's anything special, specific throughout the year. We're more than happy to promote and to do mini raid days throughout. Okay, so some offices, that's what they do throughout the year. So just let us know. And I guess the only office who partied the Cinco de Mayo was Pedro, so I guess they put a slide over here. And Jane, I think she's on the call. She won something. Congrats, Jane.
No, she won two, that was all scratchers, 2 bouquets of scratchers. And then she took off for Tennessee. So I have a feeling she won some sort of a jackpot and she took off. So we're gonna have to hunt her down today. And also we're very happy that just that event alone, we raised $400 for KW Cares.
So the lunches and events that we do in between. South Bay, you have a, talking about, the CARES lunch, May 25th, 1 p.m. What do you have? What kind of food? Do you know?
We're
Barbecue?
gonna have a variety of sandwiches and I believe pizza as well too, Meny.
There you go, homemade. Awesome, thank you for doing that. That's the 25th. And Coastal?
Next Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, it's for KW Cares.
Yeah.
Taco guy coming, we'll have beans, rice, the whole.
The taco guy.
Yeah, the taco guy, he's gonna come and he's gonna make up the tacos.
And that's gonna be,
That's okay. Yeah, we're taking the tacos.
that was a whatever accent. And that's gonna be where at the
It'll be in the courtyard.
courtyard? Okay,
Yes.
awesome. So that's next Tuesday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Awesome. Great. Thank you for doing this. Do we have a meeting next week? No,
Yes,
right?
we have. Here at Coastal we do.
Okay, perfect. We love those weekly meetings. Love it.
Yes.
Leslie? Where's Leslie? Okay, okay. Perfect, love it. That's awesome. That's all we have. That's it for today. Okay, thanks everybody. But stay here. Do we have more pancakes in the back? Pancakes and bacon?
Yes.
Yes.
Two pairs.
Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody for showing up. Whoever was on the Zoom call, and this is recorded. You can watch it afterwards. Thanks.